Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is our skeletal system. So let's study. The topics which we are going to study in this video are about our skeleton and what are the different types of parts which are present in our skeletal system. That is about skull, backbone, ribs and rib cage, limbs and girdles. We will study each one of them separately. So let's start the video. Basically, first of all, we need to know what is our skeletal made up of. We all know that our body is made up of bones, and this organ system which consists of bones is called as the skeletal system. There are 206 bones in our body that are connected together and form a framework called skeleton. But what is the use of this skeletal system? Whether it is helping our body in any such ways? Yes. It protects our internal organs and provides shape to our body, which gives support and strength also, and provides protection to the delicate internal organs like heart, lungs and brain. So basically this you can see in the picture given on the screen that our skeletal systems looks like this. It is made up of bones and there are different parts of the skeletal system. We will be studying each one of them separately in a further video. So let's continue. So, what are the functions of skeleton system? What is the basic function of our skeleton? It provides shape to our body and support and strength to our body also. And protects the internal organs like the heart, lungs and brains. And also contains a fatty substance called as bone marrow which forms the blood. Skeleton also helps in the movement of our body with the help of muscles. So basically whatever movement we do from our body, what is moving? Our bones are moving. Why? Because of the skeleton present in our body. Let's move further. What is our skeleton system made up of? The skeletal system consists of skull, backbone, rib cage, 2 pairs of limbs and 2 girdles, namely pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Now, these are the parts of the skeletal system. Skull. The first part of the skeletal system is the skull, that is the topmost part. Dear students, we have 21 fixed bones and the lower jaw is movable. So basically our skull consists of 21 fixed facial bones and one bone, that is the lower jaw, is the movable bone. So from our face only one bone can be moved, that is the lower jaw. You can try it. Just move your lower jaw. That is the only movable bone that is the only movable part, that is the lower jaw of our skull. The 8 flat bones interlock together, enclose and protects the delicate brain inside it, called as the brain box. So our brain is protected inside a box which is called as the brain box. The facial region, that is the face region of our body, consists of 14 bones. Okay, and the skull has holes for the eyes, ears, nose and mouth. You all know that. What are the holes made for the eyes, ears, nose and the mouth? The lower jaw is the only movable joint. It enables us to talk and to eat. Fine, so this was about the skull. I hope the skull part is clear to all of you. Now, before moving to backbone, I would like to add one to you that your bone consists of 50% water and 50% of the solid matter. Yes, our bones are made up of 50% of water and 50% solid matter. Now, the next part of our skeletal system is backbone. The backbone is made up of 33 small ring-shaped bones called vertebrae. What is the backbone made up of? 33 small ring-shaped bones called as the vertebrae. The skull is attached to the backbone from which forms the main axis of the skeleton. You can see in the picture that the skull is attached to a cord. You can see this is called as the backbone, which is supporting our back. Out of the 33 vertebrae, the first 7, which you can clearly see, the upper 7, the first 7 are cervical. What are these bones called as? Cervical. The first 7 are present in our neck region. So, how many bones are present in our neck region? 7 are present in our neck region, small ring-shaped bones. The vertebrae join together to form a strong column called a spine or vertebral column. These vertebrae join together and form a cord called as spine or the vertebral column. The joints of the vertebrae allow slight movement. Very slight movement is present in these types of joints. Now, because of this, we can move our back forward and backward. It protects our spinal cord, and the vertebrae are divided into basically 5 types. Cervical, the first 7, thoracic, number 1 to 12, lumbar 1 to 5, and last is the sacrum and coccyx. So, this was about the backbone. Let's move further for the ribs and rib cage. Now, you can see in the picture it is clearly visible that it is a shape of a cage. That means something is very closely packed around, it is very closely pegged around our chest. Yes, ribs are thin, flat and curved bones. They make a cage around our chest. This cage of bones is called as the rib cage. But what is the use of it? It protects our heart and lungs. Now, what is the use of rib cage? It protects our heart and lungs. 10 of these rib pairs are connected to the breastbone in the front and to the backbone at the back. You can see that they are forming a cage-like structure. It is there. The 2 pairs are joined only to the backbone and are called as floating ribs. In all, there are 12 pairs of bow-shaped ribs. How many pairs of ribs are there? 12 pairs of bow-shaped ribs. Let's move further. The next part of our skeletal system. Limbs. Now, students, our skeletal system has 2 pairs of limbs, that is forelimbs and hind limbs. This we have studied earlier also. Let's understand each one of them separately. Forelimbs. What are forelimbs? The forelimbs or the arms. Basically, forelimbs are also called as arms. They have 3 bones. You can see in the picture that the picture in which the hand is showing of the skeletal system, this is called as forelimb and the leg part is called as hind limbs. So, basically hands are the forelimbs, legs are the hind limbs. There are 3 types of bones present in our arms, or you can say forelimbs. Humerus in the upper arm, radius and ulna in the lower arms. Right? Now, let's see about hind limbs. The hind limbs or the legs have 3 bones. These also have 3 bones. Femur in the upper leg and tibia and fibula in the lower leg. So, 3 bones are there in our hind limb section also. The femur is in the upper leg, that is on the thigh side. Yes, we have femur, and tibia and fibula are on the lower side of the leg. Femur bears the whole weight of our body. It is the longest bone in our body. A question can arise, which is the longest bone in our body? The answer is femur. The ankle and toes have many small bones. We are not counting the ankle and toe bones because they are very small bones. They also have small bones. So this was about the hind limbs. Girdles. This is the last part of the skeletal system. Girdles connect the limbs to the main body basically. The limbs are connected to the girdles. These girdles connect the limbs to the main body. The forelimbs, that is, now you understand the meaning of forelimbs. Forelimbs are the hands. The forelimbs are attached to the pectoral girdle, and the hind limbs, that is the legs, are attached to the pelvic girdles. So I will again repeat, forelimbs to the pectoral girdle, hind limbs to the pelvic girdles. The pectoral girdle consists of a shoulder blade and a collar bone. Pectoral girdle is present in our arms on our forelimb side. So it consists of shoulder blade and the collar bone. And the pelvic girdle consists of two hip bone, sacrum vertebrae and coccyx vertebrae. Fine. Two hip bone, sacrum vertebra and coccyx vertebrae. Fine. So this was about our skeletal system and its different parts. Limbs. Girdles. This is the last part of the skeletal system. Girdles connect the limbs to the main body basically. The limbs are connected to the girdles. These girdles connect the limbs to the main body. The forelimbs, that is, now you understand the meaning of forelimbs. Forelimbs are the hands. The forelimbs are attached to the pectoral girdle, and the hind limbs, that is the legs, are attached to the pelvic girdles. So I will again repeat, forelimbs to the pectoral girdle, hind limbs to the pelvic girdles. The pectoral girdle consists of a shoulder blade and a collar bone. Pectoral girdle is present in our arms on our forelimb side. So it consists of shoulder blade and the collar bone. And the pelvic girdle consists of two hip bone, sacrum vertebrae and coccyx vertebrae. Fine. Two hip bone, sacrum vertebra and coccyx vertebrae. Fine. So this was about our skeletal system and its different parts. Thank you and have a nice day.